People deluded, I'm back again. Pardon me for shaking the screen yet again, but the Premier League in regards to February is done. March is just it's just turned March. Tomorrow we're obviously playing against Spurs, and we've then got United, so it's going to be a techie month. But in regards to February, we might as well speak about it, and I'll offer my opinions. If we start with Manchester City, I know they're second by a point, but they've been blitzing sides, man. They beat us 3-1 or whenever it was to be expected. Dealt with it against West Ham. They obviously, 6 or something like that against Chelsea, lit them up and gave them some real licks. They beat Everton. They've won what they needed to do. Handled business in the Champions League. A lot of people want Liverpool to win the league. A lot of people expected City to buckle under the pressure. And following on from the end of last month, they've come out strong and fighting, to be honest. And that's the strength of a squad, to be fair with you, to be able to deal with the pressure and the nonsense and all the noise and stuff and just focus on winning. They've done everything they can. Liverpool are top by a point. We'll see how that develops, and it looks like a good race for the league between them two. You've obviously got, I've said City are in second. You've got Liverpool in first. They've done what they needed to do. Probably if you was Klopp, probably considering how the game went, would have loved to have got 3 points against United. Draw against West Ham, dropped points, so that's a couple of points dropped, and they could have been more comfy at the top of the table, and that could come back to bite them. City might drop points, but Liverpool might also drop points, so it's going to be an interesting race for us neutrals. Beat 5-0. They beat Watford 5-0. That was a good game from them. In third, you've obviously got Spurs. Now, Spurs, to be honest with you, Spurs fans, I must say, in football you need balance. I said it with Arsenal fans. When we was winning and going on a 22 unbeaten run, everything was great. But Spurs fans, you can't say you haven't expected to lose. I get it, people. Losing to Burnley is unacceptable. And obviously losing to Chelsea makes Arsenal, if it wasn't already, a must-win. But considering that they've been grinding out games from the start of the season, they haven't dropped points, they've been grinding out results. Kane and Daly injuries, still grinding out results, like against who have they played? Leicester and Newcastle, grinded out results. They've got to expect it to they've got to expect it to have lost some time or another, and they must have been thinking, wow, it's all good, we're getting through games that we shouldn't have been able to without them players, but we got it. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Again, losing to Burnley is unacceptable, and Trippier, what a mistake for in the Chelsea game. But it is what it is. 6 points dropped. 9 points on the spin if they lose to us would be unacceptable from them and would make third position, which I thought rubber stamped was onto them for them, because Spurs were playing well. Like, they're third best team in the league this season based on it. They had some quite healthy points gap. They were just, with or without Kane, grinding out results, really and truly. So I don't feel people should get excited with the fact that Spurs have lost 2 games. But if they lose again to Arsenal, we've put ourselves in a good position. And even United, if United were to, obviously Arsenal, United and Chelsea at this moment in time, we're just fighting for fourth. But Spurs could get dragged into that race if they don't start winning again. If you're United, you're looking at it, if Spurs do them a favour and beat us, and United beat us, they've put themselves in a good position. So third, not only fourth, third might become a race, to be honest with you. So it's Spurs fans probably need to buck up their ideas. In fact, not Spurs fans, I didn't mean that, the players. Good win in the Champions League against Dortmund as well. I know it's not relevant, but it is what it is, man. It doesn't. Third, I thought was nailed on for Spurs because they were running away with it, but now it's gazy. And obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I hope they drop out of that. But it is what it is. Who else should we speak about? You've got Chelsea. Let's look at their fixtures. Admittedly, I didn't write them down, people. They're 6th. Obviously, you've got. It depends. Who is the manager? Is it Kepa still, or is it Surrey? Now, obviously, they lost the final against City, and that was sad, to be honest. Not sad because obviously Sterling scored the winner. I'm a big fan of Sterling, and it's Chelsea. I'll always want Chelsea to lose, but yeah, they beat Spurs 2-0. They lost the league final, like I said. Their game against Brighton, like us against Wolves, was postponed. Beat Malmo in the league. In the Europa, lost in the FA Cup to United. Let's find the Premier League stats. Battered against City, like I said, 6-0. Beat Huddersfield 5-0, sorry. Oh, it's not been a... Why is Chelsea's league games been like that? So they've got 3 games, 2 wins. To be fair, let's give Chelsea credit, man. You can't really excuse the City game, 6 goals. But to beat Huddersfield, and Spurs, sorry, people, is a good result, man. And I'm missing out another one. I just saw it. Right, is it only 2 wins then? Yeah, they've only got 2 wins then. 3 wins. So yeah, it's not all good for Chelsea in terms of results, in terms of the backdrop. I mean, Yeah, obviously the City game, like Arsenal, you accept that. Against it, to anyone playing City, you kind of write that off and just hope to put in a good performance. But 6-0 is unacceptable. Question marks over the players, over the management, and all of these sort of things. And players, whether they're going or staying. Every week there's a new link. Every week there's a new drama with Chelsea. The latest one is the transfer nonsense. I do feel for my Chelsea supporting friends, banter aside, because as an Arsenal fan, I know how it feels. Like for a number of years, even this year, we've seen the stuff with Ramsey, with Ozil, with Unai Emery, everybody. I would just like to just be able to just get up in the morning and just speak about football in terms. I hate when Arsenal, we've always got the backdrop of players or question marks over management or question marks over contracts or all of these sort of things that has nothing to do with the actual on football stuff. So I feel it for all football fans that have to deal with them sort of things there. So we've spoken about City, we've spoken about Liverpool, we've spoken about Arsenal, we've spoken about Chelsea, Spurs as well. So I think that only leaves out United. United are doing their thing. Ollie's men are just marching on. And like I said, it's come down to a big fight between us and them. And Spurs, to be honest with you. Well, not Spurs in regards to us, it's us v United. It's a 12-pointer when we play Spurs and United, to be fair with you. 12 points, can I count? Bro? Yeah, it is a 12-pointer because each individual game is 6 points. It's worth double, in my opinion, if we take points off United because it makes it more complicated. United could put themselves in a good position. They're a point behind us. They just know they need to beat Southampton regardless of what happens in the Arsenal game, and they play after us, so they'll know full well what is happening, or the management team will be aware. So if they do that, they've put themselves in a good position. And if they were to beat us next week, even better position, to be fair with you. They're marching on and doing their thing. Beat Crystal Palace, done what they need to do against Leicester and Fulham, and United are playing well and stuff. I still think similar to us, the defence isn't good enough. They're gifting away a lot of chances, to be fair with you, even when teams don't score. But they're doing their thing, man. People, the only one that's not in any sort of form really is Alexis Sanchez. Everybody's doing all right. Lindelof is finally settled in the Premier League and doing his thing. So it's a good race in regards to fourth, to be fair with you people. Quick little look at the relegation battle. If I just bring up this league before my phone dies. Premier League table. Come on, Google. There we go. If I haven't said it already, Liverpool in first, City second, Spurs in third on 60 points. We're 4 points behind Spurs in fourth. United are a point behind us in fifth. Chelsea sixth on 53. Well done to Wolves, man. Top 7 finish would be very good for them. They're 13 behind Chelsea, probably won't do that. But them and Watford to be top 10 is very good. And if you're Everton, to be fair with you, you probably ask questions of Marco Silva. To be honest, the money spent, obviously Wolves have spent peas and they've got a good project, but Watford and Wolves, for the money spent, I'd ask questions, and the same goes for West Ham. Leicester, madness has been happening with them. Palace 14th, that's decent. The relegation race, people, is where it gets interesting, because anything from Burnley on 30 points to Huddersfield on 14 could be gazy. Now, Huddersfield are nailed to go down for me. Fulham probably as well. Fulham got rid of Ranieri. They're on 17 points. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Cardiff are on 25. Southampton on 27. Brighton are on 27 and Burnley are on 30. Palace are on 30. And to be fair with you, Newcastle on 31. So from 13th to 20th, it's a good bit of a battle. I know teams, you think 40 points keeps you safe, and it probably does, but it's a bit of a race here, people. I think Huddersfield are nailed for me to go down. Fulham as well. I know Cardiff have had a bit of form, but I think they're the 3 clubs to go down. I just don't feel any of them teams have any significant quality. I know Fulham have Mitrovic and stuff, but their defence isn't good enough. I suppose Southampton could be brought back into that race. Mathematically, they're there. They're two. Cardiff, if they win, they get out of that on 27 points. I mean, Southampton on 27, Cardiff on 25. So if they get out of that, if they win on the weekend, they come out of that. Brighton haven't been in the best of form and been dragged back in, as haven't Burnley, but beating Spurs could be a turning point. So it's anything from around 13th to 20th. It makes for an interesting race. I think Huddersfield and Fulham are probs gone. They're probably relying on too much, but who knows? You get a run of form. It's just March, so you never know. But I personally think the table will stay that way. I must admit, Southampton and Brighton, kind of fearful for you two clubs, to be fair with you. Wouldn't mind if Burnley went down, to be fair with you, but it's going to be an interesting race, and it's interesting that two of them clubs in Huddersfield and Fulham have got rid of their gaffer. Neil Warnock is still in his job. We can't not talk about Leicester quickly. I know Ranieri's, not Ranieri, ironically, he lost his Fulham job. Claude Puel lost his Leicester job, and it's gone to Brendan Rodgers. I'm keen to see how he gets them playing, because I feel Rodgers is a fantastic coach. His issue is being a manager or management, and how he handles relationship with players. If you look at Dembele, it's now come out that he was telling the truth when he was at Celtic, or if you look at Raheem Sterling or anything else. So I'll be interested to see that, man. I think he's going to bring through some young players. I think he's going to play a good style of football, to be fair. In fact, I keep saying Fulham. Leicester play some good football already. It's just, for me, is when they get to the final third, it's the fashioning of chances. So if he can improve that, then who knows what Leicester can do. But in regards to the Premier League review for this month, I've offered my thoughts, so I'm going to keep it moving. People, deluded, thank you very much. Comment, subscribe, and do the rest. Thank you.